Hey, hi, hello, welcome to today's video. And it's a test match poised interestingly, and too many things are hinged on the pitch now today. I suppose, in fact, tomorrow. So, welcome to the today's day four, fourth test, day four review, and let's straight away begin the review today. Okay, so the day began with Jadeja and Kohli unbeaten, and they started the day well quite positively. But Jadeja lost his cooler, so say, and patience, lost the patience basically. So that ultimately did cost his wicket because he hoiked the previous ball and well, he was lucky there. But the next ball again, trying the same shot to such a good ball for a well-placed field is foolishness, I suppose. And well, India did lose wicket. And after that, for people who didn't know, it was a surprise because KS Bharat came to bat and but because Shreyas Iyer was ruled out actually, and KS Bharat did manage the first session, and it was a sedate first session, so run scoring was quite hard, and well, I never expected it to be such slow, but it was. Then comes second session, the first well, Australia come up with a really good ploy of bowling short balls, and the first over, in fact, it was KS Bharat who watched the ball well, and it was a soft ball. The second over, which Green, second off his over, which Cam Green bowled, well, it was around the wicket and into the body, short stuff, and he was up for it. It was a 21 run over with two sixes and a four, and the two sixes would be trademark of KS Bharat in the near future for sure. Okay, so yes, and he did get the momentum, 21 runs of the over, so it did make up for the slow start of the previous session. And when things seemed to be sorted, unfortunately, Bharat got out to line. And then came the batter in form of the entire series. And in fact, he's the highest run scorer of the series by India. So Akshar Patel and Virat Kohli joined together. And by then, Kohli was at the brink of century, 28 test century. And finally, he did reach the century. And it was a really sedate, composed, and it was like a man on a mission. So he didn't hit a single boundary, and it was all nudges, single, double, all through the day. Until he passed his 100 mark, no boundary was scored, and he cut loose after 100. And of course, the tired bodies of the bowlers did have its own role there. And India was 9 runs short of the lead. They were just trailing by 8 or 9 runs. So when India did go to tea, and post tea, well, too many things happened. India did try to up the ante, and it was Akshar Patel who just batted beautifully, was hitting the left arm spinner out of the park. So 4 6s and 5 4s. The Kohli also joined really well. It seemed more like it was Akshar who was batting, but Kohli was equal partner there. They brought really fantastic runs at a great pace actually, and for stat gurus there. So India did manage to have 6 partnership, all of 50 plus, right from wicket 1 to wicket 6. So which was one more really fantastic stat. And Kohli did pass 150, and he was inching towards 200. That's when flurry of wickets. Akshar got out, and in search of quick runs, even Ashwin. And well, there was a clear instruction given to Umesh Yadav that do bhagenge. But unfortunately, he seemed to be I don't know what's wrong with him the entire test match. Well, he just didn't run, and ultimately, Shami also couldn't. It was tough for Virat to bat single-handedly, with Shreyas Iyer ruled out. So India finished with a lead of 91, and well, so the standout performers were these three people. So that was, and okay, Australia did come out to bat, and once Australia came out, very surprisingly, well, Khwaja had an injury, knee. No, I don't say injury, but some kind of a niggle with the knee, so he didn't come out to bat, and it was Kuhneman along with Travis Head, and it was interesting passage of play for 6 overs. Where Ashwin actually induced an edge, and the case for unfortunately, well, it was a tough chance, but yes, it's a chance. So he couldn't grab it. So Australia did manage to go unscathed at 3 for no loss at the end of day 4. So well, that was the review of the day 4. Let's come to the hotspot now. Well, hotspot is nothing but today. It's Virat Kohli's day. He did play fabulously. I can talk on and on and on, and I'll have to, because this century came after 3 years, 3 months, and 17 days in Test match format, and its weight in gold. The weight was worth, and the weight was in gold. It was more like for the person who has scored 74 international century. The elusive century was 75th, and it's like a Harsha Bhogle did put it really nicely. For a wealthy person who has 74 gold coins, the 75th one was really tough. So finally, he did manage to get the 75th one today. He had lost the key, I suppose, and finally got the key of the locker where the gold coin he had stored. So yes, he did find it, and great composure, great fitness for the young people over there. Well, what's fitness? At 1:30, He had scored already 130, but still was charging for single, double. Well, it's really tough. You can compare this with Khwaja, but Khwaja did have a bit more boundaries, even though he did play 400 odd balls. Comparatively, it was a tougher thing for Kohli. So yes, the fitness did play a really important role here, and that did matter. So that was actually the well, again, as yesterday, that was the end of the video. I had put it. Probably many wouldn't have seen it. So Stark bowling, not bowling over the wicket to the right-handers and creating the roughs for the off-spinners was really baffling for me, to say the least. And today, well, yesterday Stark was overbowled also. To compensate that, today Steve Smith didn't bowl him much, and also he was having not much effect, which makes sense. And Kuhnemann, which we expected, since Murphy and Kuhnemann were not that experienced, so the expectancy was that when spinners, especially the overseas spinners, come to India, and when the pitch is not turning that much, unlike the first three venues, so that's when the real test happens. And Todd Murphy has passed the test, and I would say he is the successor of Nathan Lyon going ahead. Unlikely for Matthew Kuhnemann, it doesn't seem like. You can see that because the number of overs bowled by Lyon and Kuhnemann are way far ahead, too much compared to Kuhnemann. And also, he was taken to cleaners, and even otherwise, when people were not trying to hit boundaries, it was really the strike was rotated quite easily then. So yes, he was the weak link, I'd say. And of course, when the two paces didn't have such an impact, they were nullified. Even though they bowled really good balls, in between there were too many boundary balls, so their effect was nullified. And well, being too critical of Kohli, maybe he was too focused on getting the century. So that's where I'd say he got a bit too slow, and that, according to me, has cost India a chance to boss the game. So let's talk about going forward. So fast forward. So well, fast forward, there are only two possibilities from here. Either an India win, which is also an improbable chance, I'd say. So the best possible thing is draw, which is more probable. 80% I would say it's a draw. Yeah, it could get a bit tighter towards the end of the day, unless Steve Smith wants, like, okay, let's give a crack in the last hour or so. Well, ideally, India should want the pitch to break up in the morning, early morning, and something happening there. So if Australia bat so badly, only then there is any chance of India getting them all out for a paltry score and then scoring it out. So yes, that's what it is, and we'll have to accept the fact. So that's the review part of it. So all three parts: review, hotspot, and fast forward. Let's wait for tomorrow, and we'll come back with the review of the final day, of the fourth and final test of Border Gavaskar Trophy, India vs Australia 2023. And also, do check in. Well, I have my I'll be on the cards looking for New Zealand versus Sri Lanka, which will be a critical match for India's chances also going to World Test Championship final. So yes, guys, it'll be a really wonderful Monday morning. Let's wait and watch. Thank you.